Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green, and I'm the manager of the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers. Today, we are in the Euro League, and our travels have taken us to Russia, where we must score at least one goal. Essentially, if because of the away goals rule, if we tie 1-1 or win or tie anything more than 1-1, we go forward. If we lose or tie 0-0, then we're going to have to go to... If we lose, we're out of the Euro League, and if it's 0-0, then we have to go to extra time, which admittedly is our specialty. We'll just put Leroy Williamson in and have him kick a penalty like he did in the Carling Cup final. That was so beautiful. I have a cold, by the way. I apologize for my sniffles. Please do not stop watching this video just because of my sniffles. It wouldn't be fair to me. Today I'm going to talk about the Olympics. I love the Olympics. Why did you pass to a guy who wasn't in bounds? That seems like a poor strategy. Today, anyone who follows me on my sports Twitter, Sports with John, may have noticed that I love the Olympics. I'm a huge fan of the Olympics. That was not a foul. That was a prototypical example of a Christian side hug that had nothing. There was not even a smidge of foul in it. So what I love, there's a lot that I love about the Olympics, but the first thing that I love about the Olympics is that I get to watch a lot of sports that otherwise I would never know about, like weightlifting. I love the weightlifting. The weightlifting, in some ways, I'm more excited about the weightlifting than anything else. Oh, D. McGoldrylocks almost had a nice through ball to ball John Green, but it was all for nothing, as it almost always is in life. That is another Christian side hug. How could this referee has been purchased by Lokomotiv? That's my theory, because that is ridiculous. That was not a smart pass. From canoeing to the individual time trial in women's bicycling to all the rowing events, there's just so much to enjoy. And it's all happening at once. And for so many of these athletes, this represents the sort of pinnacle of their athletic experience. It's a huge accomplishment to qualify for the Olympics in any sport. And there's just something really moving about it. And also, there's the fact that it's very different from, for instance, professional basketball and the like, because these are not well compensated people. These are people who truly enjoy their sports and are passionate about them. And don't give up a corner. Sniffles. Sorry. And that passion is really exciting in a way that you can't get from watching even a professional soccer game, because on some level a big part of the reason why these guys are playing soccer is because they are extraordinarily well compensated for their work, right? So that's a huge part of the reason. I don't think it's the whole reason they play soccer or anything like that, but it is definitely part of the game. Shoot, and a goal! It's a goal! It's a goal from other John Green. D. McGoldrylocks with a great cross in. Ball John Green chests it down brilliantly, and then a goal! Oh, he's big, he's tough, he has a brilliant puff. Other John Green, great goal. Uh-oh. Oh, life is hard and full of disappointment, Locomotive. I learned today, by the way, from Raoul Meyer, the guy who teaches he writes all the history for Crash Course. He's like our historian. He was also my high school history teacher before he went on to become like a superstar in the world of history education stuff. Raoul was here, and he told me that Lokomotiv became known as Lokomotiv because they were back in the days of the Soviet Union. They were sponsored by the Railroad Union. So that was pretty interesting. Always learning. That's the nature of watching the Swoodly Poopers. What about how about a corner kick? Why don't we bring up Ginger Rampage? He has a soul. That's a cool angle for the corner kick, man. Oh, you got to get it down in that situation. So, on some level, when you're watching most sports, you're always keenly aware that that money plays a big role in it, and I'm not even, and obviously money plays a role in Olympic sports as well. You know, even in the sort of lesser known sports, these athletes are vying for commercial deals and Wheaties boxes and whatever. But the vast majority of people who participate in the Olympics go into it knowing that they aren't going to win a medal. There we go. And that and their goals in many cases aren't to win a medal. I thought it was really instructive actually to have a nerd fighting Olympian this year because Jennifer Pinch's, you know, she was very pleased and rightly so that the Great Britain gymnastics team had its best finish in decades. And that she was part of that. They didn't win a medal, but that wasn't that wasn't probably something that was going to happen. So the result can be can be something that you're really happy about and proud of, even if you don't finish first. And that I'm gonna have to shoot here, I think, because I'm only 25 yards out, so I think I have to. D. McGoldrylocks. Nope, can't get it down. We have the problem with the Swoodly Poopers is that we can't not get it up. You know? That's our issue. Context. It's halftime. We're up 1-0, and we can give up a goal and still move forward. Other John Green, he's excited. He's getting people fired up. He's telling Merrick, you may be an elective mute, but I love you. I want to have Basic on my team. So that's the first thing that I like about the Olympics is that people complain about how it's commercial and the Olympics are so protective of their copyright and they're so protective of the IOC is so protective of its sponsors and everything, and that's true. And I'm certainly not defending everything. But the second thing that I like about the Olympics is that it reminds us that we are all human beings living on a planet, and that through these competitions we can express sort of the best of nationalism instead of the worst of nationalism. Nationalism is a phenomenon that has to be a foul. Nationalism is a phenomenon that in many ways thrives on conflict, right? And nation states often define themselves in opposition to other nation states. I know that I am Irish because I am not English. I know that I am American because I am not Canadian. Because I don't do the things that I associate with Canadianness. And in many cases that nationalizing impulse has resulted in conflicts, whether it's the conflict to establish a new nation like South Sudan, or it's the conflict, to sort of establish Germany as a almost D. McGoldrylocks. I almost got to sing the song about your perfect bed. There's all kinds of examples of how nationalism, if not dependent upon conflict, certainly seems to frequently, if I could have gotten them, certainly seems to utilize conflict a lot in order to sort of strengthen the state and strengthen the cultural identities associated with the state, so that the state can remain a single unit. We saw this even in the American Civil War. So, but the Olympics represent what's really healthy about nationalism, which is a people identifying as part of a place, people identifying as this cultural and political unit, but at the same time respecting other cultural and political units, not denigrating them and celebrating them. I thought it was a wonderful moment when Team Great Britain went up to the Americans and hugged them after and congratulated them after they won their gold medal. And you see moments like that at the Olympics all the time. I mean, yesterday the United States women's soccer team played North Korea, and it was a hard-fought and completely respectful competition in precisely the same way that our political discourse with North Korea isn't. And that look, I'm not. It doesn't. This is not in any way to defend North Korea, obviously. That's a great through ball. That is a fantastic through ball. And then I'm going to need you to go to McGoldrylocks. No. But you know what? That's the kind of thing the Swoodly Poopers have to do. We've got to put the ball into space and let our fastest players run it down. And that's what we're good at. And I've got to say, I'm Twice as Weiss. He's having a really good game, and I'm really pleased. Oh, to the far post! It's off the post. D. McGoldrilock ran into the post there, but he just kept going because he's a boss. I'm going to have to use some substitutions here in a second because we're really tired. All right. Up through the middle, and pass. Oh, not quite. Not quite the pass we needed. So I really love the idea that that a nation state can celebrate itself while also celebrating others. And I'm also reminded that it is not as that the process of forming nation states has been made so much more complicated and interesting by the internet, because here I am watching women's Olympic gymnastics, and I'm truly rooting for the United States. Obviously, that was a great. Everything worked out very well there, but we just didn't get a goal. I'm truly rooting for the U.S. women, and because I'm an American and I feel this affiliation. But at the same time, the person I was really rooting for was Jennifer Pinches, because she's a nerd fighter. And more than an American, I identify with the culture of nerdfighteria. And that was really telling to me, because I kind of didn't know that about myself until, almost. Oh, boy, was that Ginger Rampage? He does have a soul, so it's possible. He did a nice crossover. Everything was good, except for the finish. Twice as Weiss, bringing it in long. No, that was D. McGoldrilock's. We could have been singing his song, but we aren't. However, we're looking very good to move on, which is great. That's exciting. We're going to go to this quarterfinals of the EuroLeague. Who could have imagined it? Certainly not me. I like that there are all kinds of different ways to identify yourself that you can kind of find and celebrate in the Olympics, because it isn't just, it really, it had to be, but it isn't. It isn't just about identifying yourself as an American or an Australian or a North Korean. It's also about identifying yourself as a nerd fighter, any of the other identities that you choose, a parent, a student, whatever. I enjoy it when my opponents smell their pits in shame, so I am currently happy. Congratulations to the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers, shocking the world by moving on to the quarterfinals of the EuroLeague. Merrick moving his lips but not speaking. Congratulating other John Green on a fantastic goal. Thank you for watching. Best wishes.